the gap between the frame and the platform.
Welcome back. I am back with something a little bit different for my channel today. Usually on the channel I am focused on runners, Air Maxes, New Balances, all different types of runners, but today I've got a pair that is really very dear to my heart, which is a pair of Air Jordan 4s. So I like a bit of everything, and Jordan 4s do come into that category. I don't have millions of pairs, but I do have a few pairs of Jordan 4s, and regardless of current hype or whatever, I've always loved Jordan 4s because it was one of those pairs that made an impact on me when I was quite young. So today I have something a little bit special. It's a pair of Jordan 4s in the black and red colourway, or the BRED colourway, in the reimagined version. So it's worth talking a little bit, I think, initially about my relationship with the BRED 4s. It's an important pair, not because I'm one of those people who has been in love with it from a really young age. That's not exactly what happened. These were released in 1989, and in 1989 I was 13 years old. I was at high school. I was bang in the middle of seeing Nike become important, I suppose a bit of a status symbol, seeing older kids with these trainers that were really expensive, that were out of my league, sort of imprinted on me how cool they were, and I think many of us would relate to that kind of story. And things haven't really changed, so when you get older and you've got some money, you kind of buy those pairs that you couldn't get earlier. And I just like them anyway. I think they're fantastic, the netting, all kinds of things. I was never into basketball. I live in the UK and our sport really is football, so I've always been a footballer. But I respected what Michael Jordan was doing, but I wasn't really into them like that. But this pair and the Cement 4s, which I have here, were pairs that I remember seeing from an early age and kind of falling in love with them a little bit. I've never loved the Nubuck. I'm one of those people, I know there might be some people who disagree with me in the comments. I've never loved the Nubuck, which is why I've never had a pair of black and reds before. But when they released this with this material, I thought it was not genius because it's only leather, but I thought it was exactly what I wanted. So it's not to jump on the hype. This is probably the only version that I will ever get. I'm not into the Nubuck. I think it's difficult to keep clean. It doesn't really do it for me, but this version I think is perfect for me. I was lucky enough to get a win with Offspring. It's the second win I've ever had in all my years of Offspring, but I'm not going to complain, it's fantastic. So I was able to go up to their King's Cross branch yesterday and pick up a pair that was reserved for me, and it was a fantastic experience. I really have to respect Offspring for trying to make the experience of picking up trainers an actual experience, as opposed to just going online, winning a raffle and getting them delivered to your door. You get a bit of interaction with people, you get to talk to people who have the same kind of ideas and passions as you, and also they've done their best to keep trainers out of resellers, and I have to big them up for that. So I got a few extras with my trainers yesterday. So I got this Offspring logo person, I think it's 3D printed, he's got a little Nike swoosh, him or her. Got a pair of black and red BREDs on, and my daughter has made him a little bag. It came also with this book which has a little bit of history of the 4s. It also has people's kind of testimonies as to why the 4s were important for them. And then this is the page I found most interesting, which is all the different versions of the BRED 4s. And I think my favourite thing is actually this tote bag that came with the trainers. I think it's really nice and it's sustainable, which is fantastic. So some lovely touches, as well as the experience of going up to Offspring. So that was really good. So then we come to the trainer itself, and you will have seen a million reviews on these on YouTube, and that's all good. But I am so happy with this pair. I think there's so many things that they've done well. It's essentially a black and red and grey and white Air Jordan 4. So there's nothing new going on there, except that it is reimagined with a leather upper. Instead of the characteristic Nubuck suede, we've got that Nike Air on the back. It's important to people like me who like a retro to really try and recreate exactly what they were like when they first came out. It comes with a black hang tag, which is a slightly new touch, And the other feature is that the box is flipped, so the kind of elephant print that is normally on the bottom of the box with a black lid is flipped the other way around. And I think they did a really good job with this reimagined pair. Some of the reimagined pairs have been a flop. The Jordan 1 Royals were a poor choice of material swap in my opinion, and they haven't gone down well. They've gone into sale. So I think this is an example of Nike getting it right. I could moan about things, but sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong, but I suppose it's a trying that counts. So this is a way softer tongue than most Jordan 4s have that I've experienced, and is more in the style of the Nike SB Pine Greens. And apparently the toe box has been made more comfortable as well. So there have been a few tweaks on this pair, none more important really than the leather. And I have to say, I was able to pick up a couple of pairs, and the QC on these in general was pretty good. I wouldn't say my pairs are flawless. This pair here has some paint on the window, on the air sole window, but it's a minor really. I'm not getting into kind of those petty little details. The reality is, if I sent this back, they would just get crushed or whatever, and I don't think that's really, as a consumer, the right thing to do. I don't think it's that big a deal. If it was a massive flaw, then that's different, but that's not the case here. So, as I said before, this cement pair from 2016 was a pair that really has been my favourite Jordan for such a long time. I'm so excited about the military 4s as well, because those are the OGs that I remember from back in the day. So to have these two together, I never really was bothered about this colourway, but since they've released like this, it feels like kind of almost like a partnering, like a sister and a brother are kind of back together, and I'm so happy to have got both these pairs. And to have that Nike here on the back, I think they've done a really good job. So now I've got another pair that I can kind of beat up, because I really love wearing this pair. They're one of those pairs that actually get better the more you beat them up. So in terms of materials and the quality of them in this black and red reimagined pair, it is worth saying that the leather quality is really nice, really soft to the touch, and I think I couldn't really ask for much more. Pretty tumbled, pretty good, and comfortable. The only other pair in terms of quality I can compare it to, and I suppose it isn't really comparable, is this pair of Pinnacles that I have. And the material on these is super thick, but these had a retail price point of over £300. I was lucky enough not to pay that. I paid under retail for these, but it is interesting in terms of Nike pricing. I know there's inflation and all that kind of stuff, but 2016, that pair of 4s was 155, which I think is expensive, but the good quality. Then forward a few years, these are now £200. They're actually 220 on JD Sports, the JD group. So Foot Patrol had them for 220, Size had them for 220, JD had them for 220, which is a lot of money. £20 more. I don't know why that happened. And this pair here, it does bring up that argument. Is it worth paying a bit more for really good quality in terms of this resale? You know, if you're going to be paying £200 for a kind of basic GR, why not spend £100 and get a pair that is actually sort of deluxe like this pair here? I've just seen a couple of videos recently as well where the Jordan brand are bringing out this new sort of Pinnacle Jordan 1 model again, which are handmade in Italy, and they go for like, I think £500 with a box like £1,000. I don't know, it's interesting with the pricing. I'm not sure where I stand in terms of constant price rises without the equivalent quality in materials. I think obviously as a consumer it's important to me to get value for money, but I think all in all, for the wear it's going to get, I think this is a good value trainer. That's my review. I wanted to get it out to you as soon as possible because I wanted to get my thoughts and feelings on this pair. I'm really happy with this pair. It's that feeling you get when you hunt a pair down, you have your eye on them for a long time, you get them in hand and they don't disappoint. So really happy with these. And I think we can all recognise that nostalgic element for many of us as to why we buy trainers. So as always, I want to say thank you for watching this video. If it's something that you like, please share it. Please drop me a comment. Please drop me a like, and subscribe even better. I will see you on the next video. Peace.